Okay, good evening, everybody. Good evening and welcome to our call for tonight. And we are, this is our Central PA workshop. And if you are part of the meetup, you will see it. If you didn't get the invite, you're obviously watching the replay. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. You can reach out to me inside of the meetup, or you can reach out to me at the email address. And we're going to be talking about how to increase or extend your business or revenue with online income. So tonight, we're going to be talking about the basics of generating revenue online. Where you should build an audience to build in order to generate that revenue. And then how do you find your audience? And then how do you monetize your efforts? That's what we're going to talk about tonight. If we run out of time after about 30 minutes, I will push everything to next week. Okay, a little bit about me. Basically what I do in my, you can say my day job or day business, whatever you want to call it. I create training for online marketers at a site called the PLR Show. I've been doing that since 2013. I am formally trained. I have my MBA from Syracuse, my BS from Wharton, and I did graduate studies in instructional technology with my wife, Laurel. We did everything except for the dissertation. We ran out of money and we left our full-time job. We're now going to be doing the same training that we do for our PLR Show customers here in the meetup. We're going to be doing that at Harper Academy, and we are getting that site up and ready for you. We're going to be talking about online business, online marketing, and you can find out more about the workshop. It's going to be the same thing. You can do that at the xtremebusinessmakeover.com, Xtreme with an X. All right. So what are the basics of generating revenue and income online? What are those basics? And I just kind of want to say here at the outset, regardless of what your presence online or your business is or your employment is, whether you practice online, you've got a brick and mortar business, there are a few basic ways of extending your income online. I'm going to be going through all of these, and I probably got time to talk about one. And I want to say this at the outset. I'm not going to talk about network marketing or business opportunities. And, so if that's sort of the world that you come from, or maybe you're approaching it from that direction, that's not what I'm going to be talking about in these sessions. It would be accurate to call them an online business in some ways, right? Sometimes, the way that they create the product that they are selling or that is underlying the recruitment process is an online business, but that's just not what we're going to focus on in these sessions. And mainly because that kind of business relies on leveraging the work of other people doing some form of recruitment. And that takes a really specific set of skills and sort of beyond the scope of what we're going to be able to talk about. We're going to talk about the things you can be doing online. And so just so that you'll know, again, now I want to say this: if you are a network marketer or you are a business opportunity seeker, you will still benefit from everything we're going to be sharing. So even though we're not going to be talking about network marketing and we're not going to be talking about business opportunities, everything that I'm going to be sharing in this and all of the weekly sessions, you will still benefit from. So just so that you'll know, you're still going to be able to benefit from everything I'm going to be sharing. And I'll tell you this also: if you look at the most successful network marketing trainers and coaches, they are going to be doing everything I'm going to be sharing with you in these sessions, right? In particular tonight. So let's dive in and go deeper. Let's talk about those basic baskets that allow you to earn an income online. Again, I'm only going to really be able to do a soft deep dive into one of them tonight. You can earn an income from people that listen to you, primarily online, that listen to you. So in other words, you have a point of view and you have people that are tuned into the things that you were saying, typically about a specific topic. That means you're probably going to have some kind of podcast, or maybe you have a Facebook Live group, or maybe you have a YouTube channel, or you do Instagram, or you have some combination of all these. But basically, people come to these things and they are tuned in because they want to know what you have to say. They want to know your opinion. They want to know your take on things. They want to hear you in your element of expertise. And basically, what do you do, right? You inform them in some cases, right? You keep them up on what's new. You keep them up on what's happening. And sometimes you go as far as to enlighten them. So in other words, you go beyond the information that's current. You typically tell people why something is happening, and people really do pay more, for enlightenment than they do for information, right? And maybe you don't do either one of those things. You just entertain people, right? And again, I mean, that is a viable way of building an audience. Now, the thing about building an audience is you're not episodic about this. You do this on a regular basis. That's what you do. So you gather a group of people and you are informing them, right? You're keeping them up, or you enlighten them. You're sharing new things that help them to learn something, or you entertain them. You're doing one of those things. And because this audience listens to you, what happens is people who have products to sell or services to sell of all sizes, they want access to these people that listen to you, right? When you have an audience-based business model, you are basically helping people, or you're entertaining, you're informing, you're enlightening them, and advertisers want to get in front of those people, and they're willing to pay you something, right? Depending on the nature and the demographic of the audience. In other words, if your demographic matches a demographic for their product, they want to get in front of that audience, right? And they're willing to pay you in order to do that. That is the basic level of an audience business model. And you're going to see this in some form of, you'll hear people talk about sponsorships, or you'll see that they mention a business and what they're doing. Or you see that they make that business visible on their site or in their videos or in their podcasts. They make them available to the audience. And that's basically what the audience business model does. If you can gather an audience, and that audience matches a specific demographic for a particular product or service, then typically that business is going to be willing to pay you because they want this kind of advertising. Where do you build this kind of audience? Right? I've sort of given you some clues about that. You can build this audience, let's say, for people that listen basically, right? And this is sort of a 50,000 foot view, but I want to kind of give you a basic basket so you understand this. You build this audience from people that listen to iTunes and podcasts. Basically, these are audio transmissions, right? People are listening to you. I mean, you could do it on radio also, right? If you have that, but radio is not online necessarily, right? So basically, you're building an audience from people that listen to iTunes, they listen to podcasts. You can also build an audience from people that watch videos on sharing platforms. Maybe they watch Vimeo, or maybe they watch, Amazon, right? Who shares independent movies, or maybe most likely they're tuning into YouTube because it's free. And so you can build an audience from these people who watch videos. You can build an audience from people interested in specific topics on all the social media platforms. Now, I'm not going to go into any ones in particular, but you know them: Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram. Basically, people come to these social media platforms and they're here to hear about you. They want to know what you're saying. And because of that, an advertiser is willing to pay you to be in front of these people that come to hear you and see you. Now, you can also build this audience from people who are interested in specific topics on what I call social websites. So in other words, people are not necessarily coming to this website just for, basic information, like what time does stuff open, or where can I find this thing. They're coming to a blog because they want to read, they want to engage, they want to know, they want that enlightenment. Sometimes they want some information, they want some entertainment, and they come to a social website, which is called a blog, right? You can do it in text. So basically, you can build an audience with audio, you can build an audience with video, you can build an audience with all kinds of stuff using social media, or you can build an audience with text, and that's a blog. You build this audience from people that are interested in specific topics, right? If you can do that, you can also do it in what are the old forums. And there, believe it or not, there are still online forums where people operate. I mean, if you can bring people together and you can get them to join a forum, You can build an audience there, and there are going to be people who are going to be interested in getting in front of that audience. Now, how do you find this audience? Now, there are no rules to finding an audience. So those are the rules. The rules are that there are no rules to finding an audience. Um, uh, uh, Typically, what happens is you just start talking about a topic in wherever it is, right? The where that you choose. If it's going to be a podcast, if it's going to be a YouTube channel, wherever it is, you choose to start talking about a specific topic. The more specific, obviously, the better. Each of those wheres has some principles on how you can be found by people. So all of them, right? They all got their own principles. But beyond this, of course, you've already got a personal network, whether it's a professional network or however you do it. You're going to leverage that network when you first start talking about your topic. You're going to leverage it, all of it. And so you basically want to get out to everyone. And this is really not the time for you to be embarrassed because you're just starting one. You want to make sure everybody knows about it, even the people that don't like you. Make sure that everybody knows that you're doing this. Now, if you have a personal network offline and you know how to get traditional PR, you need to use it. Right now, you may not do it right at the beginning, but you do want to use offline methods in order to leverage it so that people can find out that you are now doing a podcast or new YouTube channel or something. You need to first start creating content, and you got to start publishing on a regular basis. That's really the first start. So if you're going to do this, there's really nothing for you to start thinking about until you start publishing content on a regular basis, whatever that means. And I don't even like using that word content. It sort of makes it sterile, and it sort of makes it separate from something. If you're a blogger, you have to start writing posts. If you are a podcaster, you have to start creating episodes. If you are a video creator, you need to start doing video. If you are going to do it on social media, you've got to start putting stuff on your social media about your topic. Use your existing business or your professional network. So wherever you are, it doesn't matter. So if you've got a job, if you've got a business, you need to use that network in order to get the word out about your sessions, about what you're doing. Let's say that you've got a business or you've got a job of some kind, and you are permitted to speak personally. Now, what I will say that if you're employed, you do want to make sure that, you've got your employer's blessing. Please don't just run out and just start talking about anything, even if the topic is unrelated. You probably want to let people know that you're going to be doing this, because you don't want anything to blow back on, where you're employed full time. Now, you might be leery of that, because you might say, well, if I go and I tell them that and they tell me no, it's none of their business. That's true. But if you're employed full time, typically you're going to want to make sure that you're not doing anything to embarrass those people so that they end up firing you in some way. Now, start a blog or start a podcast, right? It's not that hard to do. We've got a course on something called anchor.fm, where you can start a podcast, and starting a podcast is free, and it'll get your podcast out there to iTunes and all the other locations. You can start a YouTube channel. We've also got a course available in Harper Academy on, doing YouTube Live or LinkedIn. Right? You can just start publishing on LinkedIn if you got to reach professional people. You can start, a Facebook group, right, or some kind of Facebook page, or you can start an online community. There's an outfit called Circle. It makes it pretty easy for you to start an online community. I mean, the old style forums, they're still available. They're still pretty ugly and clunky. You can do something a little more pretty, I think, with Circle. When you do this, right, you want to choose the place where people learn the most. So don't go start a podcast because it's cool. If when you do audio, people are not learning from you. So if you're not the kind of person that people, when they hear your audio, they really are tuned in and they learn something, don't use that one. Maybe you're a video person and you really do get excited. People read your emotions. Do that one. But don't just choose a medium just because everybody else is doing it. These days, it's really popular to do a YouTube channel. Everybody does not need to do a YouTube channel. I'm just telling you. Um, Learn about the one medium you decide. So if you decide I'm going to share content on a blog, then you've got to learn everything you can about how to be found using blogs. And don't go trying to do a blog. Now I'm going to learn podcasting. I'm going to learn YouTube channel. I'm going to learn LinkedIn. No, you start with one and you exhaust the resources that you can find in order to learn how to create content and be found. And what I will say to you is this: not everything can be done for free, and don't go looking to YouTube in this case, because as it said, well, you can find anything on YouTube. You will waste countless you'll waste an inordinate amount of time. Find a system and purchase as much as you can of it. If you decide you're going to do podcasting, figure out what you can afford and find a course that's reliable in your price range, and follow that system for that medium. So what I'm telling you is, yeah, there's plenty of information out there. There's plenty of information that'll tell you, how to, let's say, get found on iTunes. And I'm not disputing that all of that is great information. However, if you pay someone to teach you how to use that medium, you're going to have that person available to you to answer questions, and you are going to have a proven system. So find a proven system. And again, pay as much as you can in order to get it. And that might sound like it's counterintuitive advice, but I'm just telling you from experience. Find a system, purchase as much of it as you can. All right. If all you can afford is $27, find a $27 system that'll teach you about whatever, podcast, blogging, YouTube, whatever the case is. Now, then you got to monetize a medium, and that's probably what you're most excited about. That's what you want to do. And you should be monetizing whatever you're using in order to build your audience, because you're not going to get sponsorship when you first start. That's just not going to happen. Sponsors want to see a lot of downloads. They want to see a lot of people coming to your site, and they want you to prove it. And you're not going to have that right off the bat. Now, if you've got a name, you got big celebrities, and you've got all these people, you might be able to do that. I'm not going to say you can't do it, but it's really hard to just get sponsorship just because you started something. You've got to develop a track record before that happens. So what does that mean? Then you got to sell some other things with your medium. And the good thing about this is that if you start selling things from the start, when you actually have to start doing it, people will not be upset with you. It's, you're pushing this product that you're, that's part of your business. Yeah, well, that's what we do, right? So you want to do that at the beginning so that people who are offended by that, they'll stop listening, or they'll stop watching, or they'll stop reading, or whatever the case is, right? So you can create a Kindle book. They're free to create. You might have to invest in good graphics, but you can create a Kindle book for free. They've got tools on there that'll show you how to, create a cover. I mean, we've got a course on Kindle in Harper Academy, right? Show you exactly how to do it. You can create a paperback book, and it's really two sides of the same coin. You can create an online course, and we've got plenty of stuff in our Harper Academy that'll show you how to create your own online course, and they're free to create if you use a site like Udemy, right? You can create a course for free on Udemy. It doesn't cost you anything, and you can sell people on that course. Now, again, the thing with Udemy is, it's going to be their site. I mean, obviously it's their customer, but you can do it if you just needed to create a course. Or, you can do something like coaching. Now, if you've got Zoom, you can record a call with another individual that you're coaching, that you're helping through life or helping through their business, whatever the case is. I mean, there are a lot of ways for you to monetize that audience so that while you're on the way to getting sponsorship, you've got ways that you can earn income. And quite frankly, you could get to the point where you may not even want to sponsor, because the other income you're generating is going to be, more than what you get to be, to have a sponsor. You want to build this, and this is really important, and it's something that that people need to understand before you, because what happens is you've got a great idea, you go write a book, or you create a course, or you put it out there, and then you say, okay, well, now who's going to buy it? You don't want to do that. So while you're writing the book, build the audience. right? I mean, you can, and even while you're writing it, you can start sharing excerpts with that audience. You can start working with that audience while you're writing, get them in on it, do your social media so they can see you in the writing process, right? I mean, people like that kind of stuff. But don't wait until you finish to build the audience while you are creating. Really and truly, the most important aspect of this, if you're gonna do, even if you're gonna have a, even if you're just gonna work with a sponsor, right, with an audience, you've got to capture their information in your, in your system. And typically that means you're going to have to collect their names and email addresses. Now there are systems called autoresponders that allow you to do that. There are companies like Aweber, GetResponse, MailChimp. We've got courses on all that inside of Harper Academy to show you how to do those things. But you can basically set up a system so that you can, you can capture that information from an individual, right? That becomes part of your audience, and you should be doing that. And here's the most important part of this, and I like telling people this: please don't ever depend on social media following. And I say that not because social media is not great, and not because it doesn't work, and not because other people are not finding their audience and really doing a great job of monetization. All of those things are true, but you cannot rely on that audience. And the only way that that audience becomes yours is you've got to put them on your email list, or you've got to put them into something that you control, and you don't control social media. So any day, right, any day, it could be the day where they decide, well, we don't like what you said, or someone didn't like it, so we're just going to shut everything down. And those things happen. They happen to people, who are innocent, or people who, let's say, they were misunderstood, and let's say they were out for a week. Right? You'd miss a week of revenue because someone misunderstood what it is you said. So don't depend on these things. You've got to make sure you've got your own system. And right now, the way to own that system is to have an email list, and also really to have a snail mail list. So you should have all of your people, as many of them as you can, as many of your customers, as many of your prospects as you can, on an email list and on a snail mail list, so that you can reach them. You can reach them with a promotion, or you can reach them to let them know you're going to, going to have a speaker. They need to come. And ultimately, this is what monetization is of things that you're going to be doing online. Okay. Are there any questions? Are there any questions? Any questions? I do want to let you know about our business training library. We've got all of the courses that I mentioned about that here. It's at harperacademy.com. At Harper Academy, we've got 108 video courses. We explain the technical side of marketing, of online strategy, and we grow that library on a weekly basis. Also, when you become a member, we do weekly training. That training is available to you on demand. And we also do a Q&A call on a monthly basis, right? Once you become a member of Harper Academy, you get discounts on all of our additional training. And basically, it's like going to YouTube, except you're going to have help when you go through something. Okay, so you can find out more about us at harperacademy.com. Okay, if you have any questions, please write us at, and this is the business that I have, that we have, where we serve our online customers that really, that purchase our videos in order to use in their business. So I'm going to go ahead and give you that email address. That's going to come to my support. I answer all my support, and it's probably not the most efficient thing to do. It's not something I would advise anybody else to do. I just personally like to know what's happening, so I answer all of my support. So if you need to get a hold of me, if you've got questions about Harper Academy, write me at support@theplrshow.com. Okay, so it's about 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, and we are about ready to take off. And I know I started a little bit late, but I'll try to get you out of here in 30 minutes. So any questions, any final questions? Any questions? Okay, well, everybody, thank you for hanging out with me here. Even if you're hanging out with me, let's say, and watching the archive. If you are a PLR Show community member or an Ultimate Insider member, um, welcome also. All right, this is technically something that was probably doesn't fit you necessarily, but if you're watching and if you're watching and you're from either one of those communities, thank you for hanging out, or thank you for watching. I appreciate you all. Thanks very much. Have a great day and a pleasant tomorrow. Take care.